2x20 intervals are crucial to any, pretty much all foundation programs that I've ever been through, that I've ever coached through, or that I've ever seen. 2x20 at tempo, 2x20 at sweet spot, 2x20 at FTP, right? The 2x20s or 3x20s for some of us are just really crucial for building that foundation. It's one of my favorite workouts to do of the year. It was not always so. I used to hate these things, but then, I just really began to see and fall in love with how powerful they are and how much they develop me as an athlete. So let's jump into I started my base program last week. So let's jump in and see what I did yesterday. So here's my workout from yesterday. The very first thing that you want to do when you're doing these 2x20s is to not let the Garmin structured workout or the Wahoo structured workout get in the way of your terrain, right? So you want to have great terrain, and I have this 3.5 mile climb, that's 20 minutes for me. So basically what I do is I get a great workout. You see an effort right there. I get a great workout. I go out to the climb and I do my 20-minute effort. Then I go back down the climb, rest for about 10 minutes here, and then do the climb again. And then I try to really keep a good steady pace on the way home, okay? So I know we're going over rollers and it's really hard to keep a consistent effort, but I really try to do that, okay? So this is building and this is great, but this is more race day scenario. So I don't want to forget I don't want my body to forget what race day scenario looks like, rollers, okay? So I always try to keep a really great solid effort on my way home, and then I shut everything down and do a nice cool down. So for this first effort, if I were to look at just this effort, it looks pretty up and down, but in fact, it actually had a variability index of 1.0. So that's as perfect as you can get, right? That means that on this climb, I paced this thing, as if I were on a flat beach, just a perfect flat track, flat beach, flat road, something of that nature. And when I'm learning to pace it at this crucial time period, I really want to dial into specific energy systems. So I don't want wild fluctuations from myself and my own training or in my clients. And so this was just perfectly paced. I really nailed that energy system. But also, a lot of these intervals, people will want to start way too hard and then they just die 1,000 deaths till they get to the end of their 20 minutes. This one, I started 260 watts and I ended at 262 watts. So I just slowly brought that up, right? Slowly brought up my watts. So my interval trend report was a line going from low to high, which is another thing that I really want. I really don't want my athletes going too hard and dying 1,000 deaths. That's just a miserable way to do an interval, and you're really not getting the most out of your body. Now, this 260 watts, this was my first interval of the base season, right? So that was too easy at tempo. So I went, for this next one, I went 270, so I started at 270 and I actually ended at 273. And you can see I had this bump right here. I had a lot of energy left for my tempo intervals today. So this, I left it all out on the road here. So this was a 260 interval. This was average watts 270. And then I blew home on all these rollers for a 20-minute 240 watt effort on these rollers. So I left it all out there. But so now what am I going to do is that I'm going to use this information next week when I hit these intervals again, hit the same mountains again, or for the next time I do these intervals, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to look back. Okay, what did I do last week? 260, 270, right? So for my intervals, the next time I do these intervals, I'm going to start, 265 here and then maybe do 275 here, or try to do two back-to-back 270s to see what happens. But in any case, it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to try to challenge myself a little bit more. Again, these 2x20 intervals are crucial to your fall training program, your winter training program. And they teach you how to pace. They teach you to really hone in on an energy system. They teach you how to, just grin and bear it, right? And so I love these, and these are crucial for my athletes. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Would love to talk to you about 2x20 intervals.